I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Laaksen.
I am Francisco Cerundolo,
and you are listening to the Games to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Here we are. We're in Madrid. It's the big one, and we've got some massive superstars in this draw. Let me tell you, it almost seems like an age. It could have been years since we saw the names of Nadal, Djokovic in the same tournament. Well, guess what? They're in this one, and that's why I'm so hyped. I bet you are too, JG, aren't you?
Can't wait to see Rafa back in action since the injury in Indian Wells. But before we get into reacting to the Madrid draw, just a word from our video sponsor. I want to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, Tennis Clash, a free mobile player v player tennis sports game with super high-end graphics and a pure fun playing experience. It's free to play and available for Android and iOS. The game is a massive worldwide hit with more than 60 million players worldwide and almost 1 million active users per day. Check out the crazy high number of ratings and high score in the App Store.
And the best thing about this game is you can play your friends at it. Just link it to your Facebook, go to the friends section, and then start playing.
This year's Tennis Clash is officially collaborating with the Roland Garros tournament, and they will launch special in-game tournaments with amazing prizes. 2 paid expense trips. Yes, 2 paid expense trips to Paris and 5k in euros prize to the grand final winner. And that can be yours. Make sure, in order to enter, download the app for free from the links in the description box. It supports the channel and you have the chance to win the grand prize.
The game itself is super easy to play. The power is in your fingertips, and all you have to do to fire the ball is to swipe the screen, and to run around, tap left or tap right. If you're getting a little bit bored with your character on the game, it doesn't matter, because there are many characters to choose from on there, and you can upgrade all of them, and they all have different attributes. You could go out on court with all the hottest new equipment and take on your opposition.
So if you want to play this game, make sure use the link in the description, download Tennis Clash, and you will be in for the chance to win 2 paid expense trips to Paris and 5,000 euros. There you go. Word from our sponsor. Great game. Me and Ben have been playing. Ben yet to beat me so far, but you come closer on the last one.
Yeah, I try my best, but I feel that you have more practice than what I do. Maybe it's my old fingers, have to try and do some exercises before I start using the mobile phone these days. You know how it is.
No, but it is generally a really fun game. Recommend downloading it. Use the link in the description. It's also pinned in the comments. But let's continue with the video. This is a Madrid Open draw reaction. And there's 2 very special players playing in this one for the first time in some time, Ben.
Yes. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of these players before. They were last seen at Roland Garros. Do you know these 2? Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal are their names.
Yes, of course. Novak Djokovic, Rafa playing so many times before in the past. Of course, their last meeting being that semi-final, incredible mammoth match at Roland Garros, which Djokovic was able to come through in the end. But listen, I thought Rafa had a bit of a foot injury on the day, and that was a big factor. I know everyone's going to call me a crybaby Rafa fan, but of course it did play a part.
Well,
yeah, it did, Ben.
The less said about that, the better. Let's not open up a can of worms on another Rafa injury and another reason for a defeat. But yeah,
if they are to meet, it is going to be on the semi-final, and we have another man in that same section as well, or the same half, Carlos Alcaraz. So it's a very stacked side of the draw, and we're going to be talking about that in depth in a minute when we go through the whole draw. Let's move on to the next one. Territorio Masters 1000, Nadal, Djokovic. You can see here 36 and 37 Masters titles. Nadal looking to equal Djokovic's record. I feel like they're always so neck and neck. One equals and the other goes one in front.
Yeah.
Nadal did have the record for some time. Djokovic has been storming back, though, and he's been winning more in the recent years. With this one, though, I would put Rafa as more of a favourite, but we don't really know because he's coming back from an injury. Djokovic coming back from his time off with not playing because of the vaccine. Hasn't looked great at all. Recently losing in Belgrade in the final. He did have some better results in Belgrade, and you think he is getting slightly better. Sort of Monte Carlo, he's here. He's then gone up another level in Belgrade. Is he going to find another level yet again in Madrid? You'd think so, knowing Novak Djokovic, which could make it even more of an exciting challenge this year.
Yeah, I think it will be a more exciting one. For me, it's the air of the unpredictable in this tournament. We've got the likes of great youngsters coming through, but we also have these, well, legends of the game, so to speak, who aren't really fully fit or at the top of their game yet. So it's going to be a nice mix, and maybe it will level the playing field a little bit with the rest of the people on the tour, and they might fancy their chances. Like Rublev managed to take out Novak in that final. Rafa's just coming back. You saw how close Carlos Alcaraz took him in that Indian Wells match. I mean, it was windy, but still, 3 sets. He's getting closer every time he plays him.
Yeah, and with Madrid, we know it does favour a big server. Zverev won it last year. Saba won it on the women's. Saba's out. Does that mean Zverev's going to go out? Do you look at Zverev as a big contender?
Well,
he's just not been in the form, is he? He's had a terrible 2022.
After
previous champion, he's not really looked great this year.
Well, that's what I wanted to say. There was part of me when he should have been suspended. I didn't want him to go far in tournaments, and it's sort of transpired that he hasn't really done well. And yeah, that's what I think. And there was part of me not wanting. I had him to win my bracket, but I wasn't that disappointed that he wasn't able to go that far, to be honest, because I'm quite happy that a new youngster managed to go through and is playing incredibly. Holger Rune absolutely battered Rusevori earlier on. I think it was Loven 2 in that match earlier. That's crazy because Rusevori is quality, and to do that to him is impressive.
Yeah, another one to watch. But the big thing what everyone's talking about is not just these three, funny enough, Alcaraz, Nadal, Djokovic. That is a big story, them all being on one half. But I would want to just say, go into a bit deeper detail on just that half in general. It does seem a bit overkill. The draw is not very well balanced, in my opinion. And yeah, bringing it up here, you can see Novak Djokovic here. You got Gamino Valero, top player. You got Grand Slam champions Dominic Thiem, Andy Murray. Granted, neither of them in great form, but still top players. Shapovalov, Borna Coric is a protected ranking player. Batista Agut is not a seed. I mean, you got Fokina just beating Djokovic at Monte Carlo. It's the who's who. Casper Ruud's in here as well. I know he's not playing great on the clay and was great in sort of on the hard courts this year. Yeah. And just going down, you can just see even how stacked it is. Aslan Karatsev, Van der Zandslup, Cam Norrie, Bastiasvili, Isner, Fanini. I mean, it is just ridiculous. This side is
amazing.
I would say it's the side of death. I don't see a weakness at all.
There's so many, isn't there? In there, I mean, even probably the weakest people in this field.
Kuzmanovic, I've not even mentioned him.
I know.
Like, he's one of the most informed players. It just seems all of the unseeded players on this half of the draw are world beaters. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if any of these could win it. If Miomir Kuzmanovic won Madrid, would you be that shocked? No.
Well, have a look at the ones the people you would say, oh, they're probably not the best people in this side of the draw. You've got someone like a Bublik and an Isner, and it's for big service here as well. So you've got to remember, this isn't good for anyone. Van der Zandslup just completely wrecked Casper Ruud earlier on in straight sets. So this side of the draw. Norrie, I think, is going to have a tough time in this section. I'm not going to lie.
I think Buster as well. Another one who's going to have a really tough time. The draw on this side is really stacked. Let's start with the first quarter, and you can see Djokovic heading the section, Casper Ruud at the bottom. Yeah, and another stat from this side of the draw, there's 45 Grand Slams with only one slam on the other side. And well, you can guess who makes up the numbers. You got 21 slams Rafael Nadal, 20 slams Novak Djokovic, 3 slams Andy Murray, and of course the sort of forgotten soul at times, Dominic Thiem with that US Open.
Yeah, and I think Andy Murray will probably be licking his lips right now. No better time to play Dominic
Yeah,
Thiem
agreed.
than right now. I think that Andy Murray could have had a lot worse draw in this. Dominic Thiem might be thinking the same, though. He could have thought I could have had anyone else. I've got Murray, who hasn't really done a lot this year so far. So both of them will probably be going hammer and tong, probably try and wipe each other out. And no one will probably have any gas left for the next round, probably. And then you've got potentially Denis Shapovalov, who on his day can wipe the court with anybody. So
I think the Madrid courts could really suit him as well.
yeah,
Just a point on Novak, if he is able to win his first match, either against Valero or Monfils, he will remain as world number one. So some extra incentive there. Just looking at this whole section, if I had to pick a name who could surprise some people, I think, listen, you're going to call me crazy. Jamino Valero, if he beats Monfils, watch out Novak Djokovic. You're going to have to bring his best tennis in Spain. I know it's a massive ask as a wild card, and he's a few levels below, but he's a really exciting talent. I'm interested to see how he pushes Novak, who, we know in the past doesn't start a tournament very well. We saw him drop a set in Wimbledon to Jack Draper. He can have the tendency to struggle, and Draper was a wild card. Could the same happen in Spain with Valero? Let's wait and see. If I'm going to pick one name, though, it's always the same man for me. Batista Agut, Casper Ruud not playing great on the clay court. Watch out for Agut. Could easily head this section.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a bit of a stretch. I would love to see Jamino Valero go through. I think Monfils is a real tough first round match. I'd be proud if he gets through one round, Jamino Valero, but I'm not expecting much from him. There could just be like a shock Shapo tournament or something here. Who knows? If he gets through, I think Djokovic won't want to play Shapo. We saw what he did to Zverev, knocking him out in straight sets in the Grand Slam. So he's just somebody who's, when he's in form, you want to avoid him as much as possible. So moving down to the next section, as you can see, Rafa heading up this
the Spanish section. We've got Busta, Rafa, and Alcaraz.
I don't like it for him either, because if Kecmanovic gets through
Nadal,
if Kecmanovic gets through Bublik, that's the match I want to be seeing. Kecmanovic Nadal, that sounds like prime time. Look how close Alcaraz,
I don't like the sound of
and
it,
Kecmanovic was. I think it would be a great match, but I would prefer Nadal to have a match before that, really, to warm up for Kecmanovic, because Kecmanovic has been, he's on fire, isn't he? Like, I mean, I don't know what's happened to him. It's like turned into a completely different player this year, isn't he?
Yeah.
See what you did to Bash earlier? Just bashed him all up. He 7-6, 6-2. See you later. That was the reigning champ, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Gone. See ya. Well, it's amazing, mate, of what he's been doing this year, and I look forward to seeing a competitive match should he meet Nadal.
Well, we were saying that before he played Djokovic, and ended up Djokovic managed to find enough to come through.
Yeah,
played some really good tennis on the day. If Nadal's fit, he can do it still. Listen, you don't ever write Rafa Nadal off the GOAT of tennis, in my opinion. I think he's making a real claim for that title at the moment, and he's just had a phenomenal year. Let's not look at just the one loss he's had recently, what ended his winning streak. People need to remember before that he was on a crazy run of, what was it, 20-odd matches?
Yeah, about that, yeah. And obviously, he was struggling with a bit of an injury it ended up having there. So Taylor Fritz was well worth the win, though. You've got to give him credit, because you don't go and win a Masters without playing exceptional tennis. So,
sorry, with regards to Carlos Alcaraz at the bottom, because we can't forget about him, I would say his quarter is marginally easier. But then I say quarter, this is the whole quarter. I mean, his eighth is marginally easier. However, it does look like we could potentially be looking at another Alcaraz Nadal special this time in Madrid. I think it means even more being in Spain, in sort of Madrid with them too. We know Rafa supports Real Madrid as well. Not sure what Alcaraz, who he supports, but I just think it's going to be mesmerizing. It's one where it could be a record stream on Game to Love. I think a lot of people want to tune in to see them two battling out in Spain. And listen, I actually fancy Alcaraz to be able to beat him this time. I have a really strange feeling about it. I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm worried about Nadal's. It's just such a tough section. And then, well, if he is able to get through that, he's going to probably be rewarded with someone like Novak Djokovic in the semi-final.
Yeah, I'd like the fact we're back on the clay, but it's more like a hard court version of the clay this time. Obviously, he did really well against him in Indian Wells. Now we're sort of transferred over onto like the clay, but it's probably suiting more the hard court style players. And Alcaraz, I can't wait to see how he performs at this event. I think this may suit him down to the ground, Madrid. I really hope so as well.
Yeah.
If he can meet Rafa, I think I'm in dreamland. I want to see another one of those matches. His match against him last time was astonishing. Like you just see him grow when he plays Rafa each time. The respect for it that he has for him is like admirable. But you saw there was a little bit less of the respect last time and more belief in that he could actually beat Nadal if he really, really just like got a little bit of luck here and there and just had a little bit more drive. And I think there's still, you said, there's elements of like, I don't know, admiration you can still see on the court. And I think once that
could be the letdown. That could be the letdown. But in terms of ability-wise and with Rafa just sort of finding himself back in, his first matches on the clay again, just maybe a little bit rusty, everything is pointing towards Alcaraz potentially causing, is it an upset? Potentially beating Rafa for the first time. But anyway, another player I want to mention, I know we've been doing this on all of the little quarters, is an unseeded player who can go far. It's not Aslan Karatsev this year, unfortunately. He's not playing well enough. It's going to be Van der Zandslup. Yep. Absolutely demolished Casper Ruud today on the clay courts. Who's to say he can't maybe even beat Rafael Nadal? I mean, he's that good, Van der Zandslup, at the moment, and he's in a good vein of form. He's the one for me to watch out from this section.
There is one thing probably to be a little bit concerned about because the deeper he goes into the Munich draw,
that's true.
the closer he gets to the final. Yeah, so that's the one thing to look out for with some of these players who are playing really well at the moment. Kecmanovic,
same with Kecmanovic as well.
Yeah, that's it. You got it. They're both in this same part, and that could maybe do Rafa some favors, if anything.
He's had a lot of favors. Let's be honest. Every single time we do a route to the final for Rafael Nadal, and we go through all of the players he could face, he's never faced any of them. And while we're talking about the route to the final, let's have a look at a few of them. We'll do Djokovic's one first. I think we forgot to do that. So we've got Djokovic here. Monfils could be Jimena Valera, hopefully. Chapo Murray or team, Ruud or Hurkacz quarter-final, semi-final of Nadal or Alcaraz, and a final of Zverev, Tsitsipas or Rublev. And looking at Rafael Nadal's.
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting, that one. There we go.
We have Miomir Kecmanovic or Bublik, PCB, Karatsev, Van der Zandslup. I don't feel like Karatsev's going to be there anymore. Quarter-final of Alcaraz or Norrie. Maybe not Norrie too. Semi-final, Djokovic or Ruud, and a final of Zverev, Tsitsipas or Rublev. Cheers, Ollie, for these as well. Appreciate it.
Yeah, there he is. Ollie Baton.
And the final one is Carlos Alcaraz. So we've got here Fognini or Bassasvili in the second round. Third round of Norrie, Isner, Krajinovic. Quarter-final of Nadal, Kecmanovic. And a semi-final of Djokovic or Ruud. And then Zverev, Tsitsipas or Rublev in the final.
Doesn't get any easier, does it? So it's quite.
I mean, it's probably better than Rafa and
slightly better.
Marginally,
yeah.
It's not.
There's
much,
part of me that thinks so. Go back to Rafa's one. There's part of me that thinks that.
Well, I mean, that's just shocking. I'm sorry. Like,
let me pose that. Well, let me pose this to you.
Terrible for Rafa.
Well, let me pose this to you then. If you think it's terrible, then just going back to literally what I just said a second ago. So we've got these two. Kecmanovic, Van der Zandslup, they're playing each other in the semi-finals in Munich. One of them's going to definitely go to the final, that's for sure. So let's say it's Kecmanovic, that's going to be his first opponent. He might drop out. He might drop out the tournament.
I don't think he's dropping out.
One of these might drop out though. So you never know. Like they might.
I don't think they'll drop out, but I think they could be a little bit fatigued. I don't doubt that.
Never what did we do the podcast on earlier? A few weeks ago. So many withdrawals. I wouldn't be surprised if we see
Yeah,
more
It's a
withdrawals.
good point. Good point. Yeah.
This is the thing, and I think if that's the case, maybe he'll get like a lucky loser to play, or maybe then he'll warm up a bit. Then he'll have
Listen, Ben,
Alcaraz.
I'm loving this. I'm loving your new Rafa vibe these days. You're all part of the Rafa train,
Who
and I'm all
knows?
for it. You
I
just want a
mean,
nice draw for Rafa, so you can be Vamosing all your way to the final.
I remember all of the other draws and what happened. I remember that draw preview you did on for Rafa's route,
I know.
and you had to play one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Through
I don't
the
think
whole
any of
tournament.
them. It was crazy.
Did
But yeah,
all right.
let's get back to the draw, and we're going to move over now to the other side of the draw. And on the other side, we're going to start off with the Andrei Rublev quarter,
Oof, yeah.
or you could call it the Tsitsipas one. But I think Rublev at the moment has been on hot form.
Yes.
Actually, both of them have really. You got Tsitsipas won Monte Carlo, Rublev won Belgrade, so two champions. Diego Schwartzman recently pulled out of Estoril, I believe. I think that is more of a precaution than the fact that he's saving himself for Madrid. He's played a lot of tennis recently. Big names in here who we are very familiar with. Jenson Brooksby, Jack Draper as well. Two young
Yeah.
guns who are super exciting. We could be looking at maybe a Jack Draper, Rublev, opening round for Rublev, second round in the tournament.
That'd be great.
If he
Come
can
on.
get through Sonego. You got Fritz in this section against Brooksby. I mean, that's a really tough draw for Fritz, isn't it, straight away?
I think it's a tough draw for both. This is a predominantly serve-heavy surface, and Taylor Fritz, 6'5" of him. Brooksby's a great returner, though. It'll be interesting to see how well he returns on this surface because I've not seen him playing at Madrid previously.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
can't
Brooksby's dangerous.
Yeah.
Diego, maybe not so dangerous on the Madrid courts.
Mm.
Let's wait and see. Grigor, I don't even want to talk about him. I'm sorry. I just feel like he's so hit and miss. He's like the Madison Keys on the men's side. And then Tsitsipas, not a bad draw at all, if I'm honest. I'm looking at this for Tsitsipas, and I think he's been he's very fortunate. He's got a nice quarter. Most likely, we could see the boring Ben. We could see a Tsitsipas Rublev coming out of this one.
Nice.
And it's very rare, I say, the two top seeds advance, but it has that feeling this quarter that it's destined for a Rublev Tsitsipas meeting in the quarterfinal.
Looks like it, doesn't it? I mean, the only people that I think could probably trouble them would be from Brooksby and Fritz. I think that's out of that one. Whoever comes through there, you think might be able to make a little run, but then Rublev's in great form. So I wouldn't. He's won 3 tournaments this year. I don't know if it's going to be easy to topple Andrei Rublev right now.
That's true. Let's move to the bottom. So the other, we're still on the same half, but this is who's going to be playing. The Tsitsipas Rublev section in the semis, and we've got Felix at the top and Zverev at the bottom. I mean, well, both of these two are really out of form. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I think there's quite a few players on this section who are out of form. We've got Tommy Paul.
Yeah.
We've got Yannick Sinner. He's having a lot of injury issues. Christian Garin, shadow of the man we saw last year.
Yes.
Avashka, not even that great, if I'm honest. Marin Cilic lost to Baez the other day. It's not the strongest of sections. It really isn't. And if I had to sort of pinpoint someone from here, I think it's whoever's going to really rise to the occasion. It's hard to really pick someone. If I'm honest, it may surprise you. I'm sort of drawn to Alex de Minaur. It is in Spain. We know he is a resident of Spain, so he's always playing on the courts there. He was super close to beating Alcaraz in Barcelona. Had a few match points. Should have got one of them and converted it. I would watch out for Alex de Minaur in this section because he could cause a little surprise. And I like, well, he's in the, no offense, he's in the quarter, which is the weakest. So he will be thrilled. I think all of these guys will be very thrilled. And of course, the other one, what stands out is Sebastian Korda. He's demolishing everyone right now in Estoril. And, if you can get through Riley Opelka, which is a tough first match, he could quite easily head this section as well.
Well, I was going to say the two sort of names that stand out for me were going to be the two Americans who are meeting each other in Estoril. It is Korda and TFO. They're both playing in a semi-final against each other. Will it be the case of the tired legs again? TFO took out Davidovich Fokina in 3 long sets earlier on today. It's no easy thing against Fokina now, so that really impressed me from TFO. Will he still have the legs? I think he can take out Garin. I think he can take out Felix as well. And that's what I mean. His draw's quite nice. Francis TFO. Could see him maybe could we see Corda versus him again? Who knows?
The reason I didn't mention TFO is I think he is someone who has one good one and one bad one. I don't think he's Mr. Consistent who does 2 good ones in a row. But then there's a lot of people you can make the same case with. Maybe Corda's sort of fits that box too. But TFO, I'm certain that he doesn't have 2 consecutive good events.
Okay. Well,
just a weird JG theory. I'm going to throw it out there.
And you got Ramos. That's another person who's also in a semi-final this week as well. So we've got a lot of semi-finalists here. And Ramos obviously up against Sebastian Baez, and that will be in the semi-final.
Are you saying I've been a bit harsh on this quarter?
No,
it is the weakest quarter.
It is the weakest quarter for sure, but I still think there's cause for concern for other people. If they hit their stride, like someone like Corda, we still haven't really seen the best of him yet. If he maybe this year could be if he wins in Estoril, maybe he just continues on. We've seen other players do it this year. We've seen Rafa go on long winning streak. We've seen Iga go on long winning streak. Who's to say we can't see it from another young player though, like Corda? I'd like to see Corda do well as well.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, certainly. I agree. But I think we're going to wrap that up. Before we do, though, I do have one big question for you, Ben. And that is, you're sharing now, regarding this photo here. So we can see these two playing again for the first time since a Roland Garros semi-final last year. The question I want to pose to you, Ben, who's going to get further in this year's event? Rafael Nadal or Novak Djokovic? We've seen the draws. We've had a little look. We're going to be doing the official draw preview where we do all of our picks on the tennis league. That will be most likely Sunday. So join us for that. But I'm asking you on the spot right now, Ben, who is going to be going further, Rafa or Novak?
It's going to be Novak.
Oh, he thinks Novak. And I guess it's only fair if I answer.
Go on. Who do you
I wonder who it could be. I'm going to just turn the cap this side. I think Rafael Nadal, he's had a phenomenal year this year. Don't write him off because of a little injury he's had. He's going to be back. He's going to be raring to go. This is his weakest clay court Masters event.
Exactly.
I'm not stupid to not admit that. However, I have still been very encouraged with his whole body of work this year. I can't say the same about Novak. And in that case, I am going to be going Rafael Nadal to be able to progress further than Novak Djokovic.
Okay. Well, my reason for my picking, I think Novak's got a big serve if he really wants to use it. And his section is slightly easier, I think, than Rafa's. If Rafa meets Kecmanovic and all the other people that we think he could meet. But that's it. Yeah, it's all a big if. But
I think they're all going to pull out and just let Rafa go all the way. Just say, oh, you know what? We feel sorry for you. You take this and you equal Djokovic's record of 37 Masters titles.
But we're going
to wrap this one up. Thanks, everyone who's joined us. This is our instant-ish draw reaction for the Madrid Open. Make sure, if you haven't already, download Tennis Clash. It really helps support the channel, and you have a great incentive to win some extra money and trips to Paris. We're going to end this one here. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you tomorrow for more Madrid Open coverage on the women's side, and we'll be doing a men's draw preview Sunday night. So see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Love you and leave you.
Bye-bye.